transportation infrastructure. Yeah, you need that in Dallas, that's for sure. As a member of the Committee on Defense and Veterans Affairs, Chris has worked closely with veterans, leaders, and organizations on policy aimed to help those who have served our nation in uniform. In his first session, Chris filed 6 pieces of legislation aiding our nation's veterans, including the measure which called the Veterans Cash Texas Lottery Scratch-Off game, which will provide an estimated $9 million per year for the Permanent Fund for Veterans Assistance to pay for much-needed benefits for Texas veterans and returning soldiers. His work on veterans issues led to Chris being named the Bipartisan Veterans Caucus Freshman of the Year and being given the Texas Veterans Commission Leadership Award. In addition, Chris was named Freshman of the Year by Texas Watch for his work on consumer protection issues. Chris is a resident of Burleson and is married to Lisa Turner. He has 2 stepchildren, both of whom attended public school in Mansfield. And on a personal note, not in the script, Chris, we would not have passed that legislation, and you don't know how hard it is for a freshman representative to get anything done in Austin, okay? You don't know how hard it is for a senior representative to get anything done in Austin, okay? And Chris went forward, he carried the message, and we passed it. I think everybody knows the story. We passed it in the last day of the session, and today we're going to present Chris with the outstanding, what did we call that thing this year? Legislative Award, something like that. Yeah? Keep it on top. Bring me that award up here, Mommy. That's supposed to have been up here, that's why I didn't know about it. And Chris, we misspelled, there's some misspelled words in this plaque, so I'm going to give it to you, and then I want you to hand it back to me. Okay? The award today is Legislator of the Year, presented to State Representative Chris Turner, Texas House of Representatives, District 96, for your leadership in sponsoring groundbreaking legislation to benefit all Texas military veterans. Presented by the Department of Texas Veterans of Foreign Wars, June 24, 2010. Please give a big round of applause to Representative Chris Turner.
Roy, thank you for that very gracious introduction and your kind words, and more importantly, your friendship. And Commander Barber and President Hornsby, it's an honor to be with you again, and to all the members of the Texas Department of Veterans of Foreign Wars and the Ladies Auxiliary. I just want to say thank you. It is a tremendous honor to be here and to receive this award, and words really can't adequately express the humility I feel with this recognition. And I have to tell you, I don't know that I'm deserving of this tremendous honor, but I will do my best to continue to earn the recognition you've given me. I can tell you, I'm very proud of our collective efforts, all of us in this room, to help pass the Veterans Lottery Scratch-Off Bill. And I'm pleased to report that as of today, it has generated over $5.5 million for the fund. You know, and Roy is right, it is not easy to pass a bill in Austin, when I realized how big this bill was and how important it was, frankly, when we were trying to pass it, I felt bad that you had a freshman legislator trying to pass it for you. But I'm glad we were able to get it done. And you know, a lot of times when bills are passed down there, what is promised when the bill is passed in the House and the Senate isn't always necessarily what ends up getting delivered once the piece of legislation is put into effect. Just ask your local school superintendent, and they'll tell you about that. But let's look at what happened with the Veterans Lottery Bill. We told the legislature something very simple, that if we pass this bill, we're going to establish a steady revenue stream to fund the Fund for Veterans Assistance, a fund that while well-intended, had not received any funding at all from the state, and the only funding it had received was a contribution from this organization, from the Texas Veterans of Foreign Wars. But we told the legislature, my colleagues, that if we were bold and visionary and passed this bill, that we could generate up to $8 million a year potentially to help Texas veterans, and we're well on our way to doing that in our first year. We said we could help more veterans with transportation assistance to VA healthcare facilities. We could help fund PTSD counseling services that are so crucial to many of our veterans. We could do more to reduce the shameful number of homeless veterans in the state of Texas. So let's look at the results. Since the ticket went on sale November 9th, as I said, it's raised $5.5 million for the Fund for Veterans Assistance. And the Texas Veterans Commission, under the leadership of General Karen Rankin and your former national commander, Jim Nyer, has put that money to very good use for our veterans. The first $1 million grant came right here to the Texas VFW, and I'm sure glad that it did. Because with those funds, in just the last 3 months or so, you have helped, as I understand it, nearly 300 veterans and their dependents across the state of Texas. You know, one story is about a month ago, my colleague in the Senate, Senator Vanderputte, who many of you know, who passed this same bill on the Senate side, she presented, along with y'all, a $1,000 grant to Gerardo Gomez. Mr. Gomez is a San Antonio Desert Storm veteran, a single father who suffered back injuries during his service in the Army as Army paratrooper. And as a result of his injuries, he wasn't able to work for a time and fell behind on his mortgage payments. And with the grant from the VFW that came from the VA, he and his daughter were able to stay in their home. And that's the kind of thing that we want to do with this fund, is to be able to help Texas veterans and their families who had a real need of help because of their service. The Texas VFW has helped hundreds of other veterans through this program over the last few months, and I want to thank you and congratulate you for making a tremendous difference in executing this program. Just last month, the Texas Veterans Commission awarded an additional $2.6 million in grants to organizations all across the state of Texas. Those awards range from funding for the Homeless Veteran Services in Dallas to help assist veterans with transitional and permanent housing, to giving a grant to the Vets for Vets program to extend their services an additional 1.5 years. And they provide peer-to-peer support to help OEF and OIF veterans heal from the psychological impact of war. So when it comes to the promises we made about what this lottery scratch-off game would mean for Texas veterans, and the results that we've gotten since it went on sale just over 6 months ago, as you can see, I think we collectively have all delivered, and there's not a lot of daylight between what we promised and what we've delivered. And I'm glad for that, because that's what our veterans deserve. In the months ahead, I'm excited that the Fund for Veterans Assistance will continue to honor the service of 1.7 million veterans in Texas who have worn our nation's uniform by providing crucial support for continued emergency services and long-term strategies such as PTSD counseling and homelessness prevention. You know, I often get asked why it is I've gotten so involved in veterans issues in the legislature. I'm not a veteran myself. My father's not a veteran. If I had to boil it down to one simple premise, it's this. I love this country, both for what it represents to the rest of the world and for what it guarantees to those of us who are privileged enough to be its citizens in terms of our personal freedom and liberty. And despite all our challenges, and we have many in our country, at home and abroad, there's no doubt in my mind that we live in the greatest country in the world. And there's no doubt in my mind how it is, what makes this country the greatest country in the world, what enables us to live here. And it's the sacrifice and service of the American veteran. It's the men and women who have answered our nation's call to service through the ages, donned the uniforms of our armed forces and sailed to faraway lands to defend our country. Many did not come home. From Lexington and Concord to the beaches of Normandy, and the depths of the Pacific, and the mountains of Korea to the jungles of Vietnam, and the sands of Iraq to the mountains of Afghanistan today. It is the American soldier, Marine, sailor, and airman who has, in the words of our Constitution, secured the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, and it is to you that we owe those blessings. So it's for these reasons that I care deeply about our nation's veterans and believe that those of us in public office who have a chance to make a difference, I believe we have a responsibility to honor our veterans in a meaningful way. While we can never repay the tremendous debt of gratitude that is owed to those who have served and to their families for the tremendous sacrifices families make, I hope we can demonstrate our sincere gratitude, and maybe with efforts like the Fund for Veterans Assistance and the lottery game, maybe we can make a small difference. Thank you again for this tremendous honor, and thank you for inviting me here today. And I look forward to continuing to work together over the weeks and months and hopefully years ahead to continue to make a difference for Texas veterans. Thank you.